access to 4 extra videos a month, cute custom emojis and badges, and access to member-only polls. There's absolutely no pressure to join. It's just an option there for the people who are interested in the extra content, or who just want to further support the channel. As always, if you do like this video, give it a like, it really does help out a bunch. Comment down below if there's anything you'd like to see from me, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. But let's just get into today's video. Okay, so this first one is by adventurous_map9855. It's titled, "Am I Overreacting? Guy I'm dating made a weird face when I said my cousin is having her first baby at 35. Am I wrong to be offended? I was hanging out with the guy I'm dating, and he kept showing me ultrasound photos from his friends' pregnancies, like several of them. Eventually I mentioned that my cousin is pregnant too. She's 35 and super anxious since it's her first and is in her second trimester. He immediately made a face and said, her first, in a way that felt surprised and kind of judgmental. His reaction rubbed me the wrong way. He didn't say something like, that's awesome, or congrats, or how is she feeling, like a normal person would. It just felt like he thought having your first child at 35 was bizarre or unacceptable. He then proceeded to ask no questions, and then we started to talk about something else. I'm 30 and 5 years isn't that far off. It made me feel weird and honestly a little defensive. I didn't say anything in the moment, but it stuck with me. Am I overreacting, or was that kind of a red flag? No, in my opinion, it's very weird. I mean, like, showing you a bunch of random ultrasounds of people which, okay, sure, I do. But isn't the whole point of going somewhere together to be together? It just felt kind of weird and low-key disrespectful to be left out of all his posts like I was a background extra. I don't think I'm asking for too much by wanting to be included in a couple of pics, especially when I made the effort to take cute ones of him. Am I being too sensitive about this? No, to me that's a big red flag, almost like he's, trying to keep the fact that he's in a relationship, like, as on the low, like, he doesn't want it public, probably because, like, the girls he's chatting up online, or the girls that he's thinking about chatting up online would see it and maybe be like, what are you doing, kind of thing. That's what it feels like to me, at least. It's like someone said in the comments here, seems really weird, almost as if he doesn't want to admit he's in a relationship. I too would feel disrespected. And I would honestly just ask him if he can post one picture of the two of you together on his socials, and if he refuses, then he's definitely hiding the relationship from someone. That's exactly how I feel about him. Okay, this next one is by Autistic Fishy. It's titled, Am I Overreacting for Feeling Unappreciated After Trying to Do Something Nice for My Boyfriend? And there is some screenshots, of text messages, so I will read them out to you. This means the OP, and this is the boyfriend, okay? Hey, are you still coming over tonight? I don't know, kind of tired to be honest. Oh, okay, I cooked dinner though. Didn't ask you to. You said yesterday you were craving pasta. Yeah, but that doesn't mean you had to go out of your way. I was just trying to be nice. Sad face. Can we not do the guilt tripping thing again? It's not a guilt trip, I just thought you'd appreciate it. Appreciate what? Food I didn't ask for. You're making this a bigger deal than it is. I just wanted to spend time with you and do something nice. You're too much sometimes, honestly. And then this is the actual, comment on Reddit from the OP. So this isn't anything super dramatic, but it kind of hurt my feelings, and now I'm wondering if I'm just being sensitive. My boyfriend and I had loosely planned for him to come over Friday night. Earlier in the week, you mentioned he was craving pasta, so I figured I'd be sweet and surprise him by cooking dinner. He said he was hanging out with his friends earlier in the day and would come over after. Totally fine, no issue. I made the pasta, tidied up a bit, even lit a candle like I was in a cheesy rom-com. I was kind of excited just to have a cozy night in with him. But then, nothing. Time kept passing, 7, 8, 9, and I still hadn't heard anything. I didn't want to nag, so I just waited, but eventually I texted him asking if everything was okay. He responded that he was still out and was kinda tired. I said something like, oh okay, no worries, I just made the pasta like you said you were craving. Thought you might come by. And he replied, didn't ask you to. It just felt really dismissive. He's never rude like that. He's usually super sweet. I didn't even respond after that because I honestly didn't know what to say. I wasn't trying to guilt trip him or anything. I just made dinner because I wanted to do something nice. Now I feel weird and embarrassed for even trying. Am I overreacting for being upset about this? Absolutely not. That guy needs to be dumped ASAP. He sounds exhausting and narcissistic and manipulative, and you just don't deserve to be treated imagine like my fiance, like let's pretend, okay, hypothetical, I'm out with my friend, and I said I'll be back at 5, and then my fiance texts me like, are you coming back, blah blah blah, I made the food that you really wanted, like something that I really really wanted. Imagine me just saying, didn't ask you to. How rude. Oh my god. God forbid somebody try to do something nice for you. I hope nobody tries to do something nice for that man ever again. Ever, ever, ever. What an awful response. I would feel so hurt. And then saying that she's too much, like, ugh. No. Okay, this next one is by beginning_cat_4634. It's titled, Am I overreacting for punching your very close family friend in the face after he took pictures of my deceased mother and posted them on his Facebook? I, 29 male, recently cut off all contact with a very close friend of mine, 31 male. Let's call him Jay. We've known each other for most of our lives. Jay is the kind of person who peaked in high school, and over the years we've grown apart in some ways. Sadly, my mother passed away about 2 weeks ago. Her funeral was incredibly difficult for me, but overall, it was a meaningful and respectful ceremony. Jay was initially hesitant about attending. When I asked why, he told me that he didn't want to see her like that. I understood, and although I was surprised when he showed up, I appreciated it when he said, your mum would have wanted me here. However, the following day I saw something on his Facebook that completely blindsided me. He had posted a selfie of himself with my late mother, taken at the funeral, and captioned it, hanging with, and then her full name. And then a bunch of like disrespectful, silly emojis. He had even tagged her Facebook account. When I saw that, I was furious and heartbroken. I immediately drove to his house. When he answered the door, I punched him in the face and asked him, why would you do something like that? His only response was, I don't know, man. Since then, I've cut off all contact with him. I've been wondering, am I overreacting here? No, I think that is the perfect response to that. Posting a picture of anybody deceased is a very, very weird and disrespectful thing to do in the first place, and then to be like silly and stuff with the caption is just completely inappropriate. Especially after like acting hesitant about being there, and he didn't want to see it like that, but he's fine taking pictures of it like that for all others to see. That's what a weirdo. What a bad weirdo. Okay. This next one is by usual-situation-2176. It's titled, Am I Overreacting for locking up my pantry after my roommate kept giving away my food to her boyfriend? I, 23 female, live with 2 roommates, but this is mainly about Tasha, 22 female. Tasha's boyfriend basically lives with us even though he doesn't pay rent. I didn't mind at first, but lately I've noticed food I bought just disappearing. The tipping point was when I bought groceries for the next week, including expensive stuff for a meal prep, and came home the next day to find half of it gone. Her boyfriend apparently had the munchies and made himself and her dinner using my ingredients. Not even basic stuff, but things like salmon, pesto, the last of my oat milk, and a whole box of pasta. I confronted her and she said, oh my god, we were starving and everything was closed. I'll replace it later. She didn't. So I bought a plastic storage shelf and a lockbox and stuck it in my room snacks in there. Tasha found out and now says I'm making it look bad and treating the house like a prison. Our other roommate is staying out of it, but she says it's kinda intense. Am I overreacting? I honestly feel like I'm just protecting my stuff. No, you are not. She and her boyfriend used your stuff and has been using your stuff without asking, without telling you, without replacing it, and then trying to gaslight you into thinking that you're the one like doing something wrong when you put your foot down and start storing it in your room. You are not the a-hole. Stuff is expensive these days. Like, a lot of you probably noticed or heard in my past videos, we store most of our stuff in our bedroom. Our bathroom stuff is over by the door on a big shelf. We have this behind me here is a giant desk with like a kitchen unit on top of it, where we have our own bowls, cups, stuff like that. And we have foods, our chocolates, milkshake powders, all that type of stuff there. And then underneath we have a mini fridge. We have to have this in our room because the people we live with are the type of people to just use stuff without asking and never replace it. And we can't afford to constantly be replacing stuff that other people ate. So we've had to do the same thing, and it is frustrating because basically that whole side of the room now is taken up, and a big chunk over there is taken up by stuff that we should be able to have in other rooms. So our room is really like cramped and cluttered, and I don't think that's fair. Okay, this next one is by Stream Era. It's titled, Am I Overreacting for Being Upset? My wife never told me she dated my friend. I, 32 male, just discovered my wife, 31 female, dated one of my close friends before we met. We've been together 8 years, hung out with this guy regularly, and she never mentioned it. When I asked why she kept it secret, she said it wasn't important and got defensive. Am I overreacting for feeling betrayed? She shared other past relationships before. Friends say it's not a big deal, but I can't help wondering why she hid this. You are not overreacting at all, like someone said in the comments here. Why do people not get that relationship built on one lie could crumble in a matter of minutes? It's not about dating your friend she dated before you. Matter, but hiding it for 8 years is the problem. Now your mind will run through their past interactions and you will look for clues you think you missed. Every time she laughed at his jokes, every time he was sitting beside her, your mind will make you think that they were keeping a secret, and they were. She should have told you, and he should have told you, but hiding it is the worst thing they could have done. Literally, I agree with that. Like, now you're gonna worry about past interactions, and also it's like, I think in any relationship, transparency is completely the key. Like, you need to just be completely honest with each other. If you're honest with each other, you can navigate things properly from the start. You can put in boundaries, you can ask questions, you can reassure each other. You know, like, she obviously hid it because she thought you'd have a problem with it, or she thought she was doing something wrong, and that's why she's defensive about it. So I couldn't do that, you know. If I thought I was doing something wrong, or my fiance didn't like something, I couldn't then just hide it from him. That would make me feel terrible. So yeah, it's definitely also sketchy in my opinion. Okay, this one is by Upflow Lab. Titled, Am I Overreacting for Being Hurt that no one believes in my new job opportunity? friend straight up said, "You'll be back in 6 months," when you realise it's not what you thought. Even my siblings made jokes about me falling, failing and crawling home. I snapped and told them all how shitty it feels to have the people who are supposed to support me act like I'm destined to fail. Now they're saying I'm overreacting and too sensitive, but honestly, it's making me question if I should even stay in touch after I move. You're not overreacting. These are the people closest to you, and in tangent, they are the people who are supposed to care about you the most, and who are supposed to support you through everything, you know. I think it's a terrible thing to tell someone, especially someone you care about, that they can't do something of the amount of it. Like, that's, I don't know, that's an awful thing to say. Like, even if you go and you do fail, so what? You tried, and it's important to try. But then, like, acting like that is just terrible. Okay, so this is gonna be the last one. The last one for tonight. I'm sorry that some of my videos have been a bit shorter recently. We're coming up to summer, which means I'm getting less time to film because people are home all day making a lot of noise, and, you know, kids are out screaming and screeching, like having fun and stuff outside. And on top of that, work for the last couple of weeks is just going to be a bit busy, so I am sorry. The videos won't always be this short. They will go back to normal, to longer videos, probably after summer. I mean, I probably will manage to make some longer videos here and there as well, but it's likely they will be a bit shorter throughout summer, so I just want you guys to be aware of that. But this last story is by Suitable-Director-67. It's titled, "Am I overreacting for asking my dad to walk me down the aisle alone and not with his wife?" I, 28 female, am getting married this fall. My dad has been remarried for about 10 years. His wife, my stepmom, is okay. We aren't close. She's polite but distant, and we never really bonded. She didn't raise me, my mum did. I asked my dad if he would walk me down the aisle, and he was thrilled. But a week later, he called me and said he thinks it would be symbolically appropriate if he and his wife walked me down together. I was confused and asked why. He said she's been in my life for a long time and it would mean a lot to honour both my parents. I said I'm only comfortable walking with him, and he said, "I didn't think you were still holding on to resentment." I'm not resentful, I'm just not close to her. This moment means something to me. I told him he could say no, but then I'd just ask my mum or grandpa instead. Now he is not speaking to me. He says I'm causing drama before the wedding and being ungrateful. My stepmom hasn't said anything, but I know she knows. I feel like I'm being made to accommodate someone else's feelings in my moment. Am I overreacting? No, you are not. Also, as always, excuse the snoring behind me. It's my dog. Like you said, This is your day, your moment, you get to choose. And I mean, traditionally, isn't it the father, or at least just one person, that walks the bride down the aisle? So what if you want to do it more traditional? And also, why would you want your stepmom in such a big moment when you've said yourself that you're not like super close to her? So why would you want her there? If anything, it would be your dad and your mom, like get them to cooperate. But no, definitely not overreacting. I feel like that was the stepmom's idea, that she wants to be more involved. But yeah, definitely not the a-hole. Well, not overreacting. I forget that these aren't, am I